It's supposed to be, it's usually 7 laws they talk about, but it's an 8th law. And I'm going to go over the 8th law at the end. This is the laws of the universe. Number 1, all is mind. What does it mean? It is probably where I looked already. That happens a lot. That happens a lot. And look at me still looking like. It's probably where I already looked. Man, this gotta be. Where is it? It's probably upstairs. Anyway. All is mind. Yes. Now, mind is different than thoughts. Thoughts come from the mind, but the mind is different than the thoughts. I don't have time to go deep into it. Really, it's the no thing. When we say what happened, what was there before there was anything, mind is. Okay? Why can't we manifest instantaneously? We'll talk about it. You're in the time space dimension. So all is mind. That means I am is made of mind. Things are made of mind. Thoughts are made of mind. Energy is made of mind. Everything is mind. Essentially, mind is the infinite canvas, yes. But it's an intelligent, self-operating canvas. And it paints on itself. Okay? Yes, meditation should be considered. So all is mind. You found it?
No, but I'm coming up for it.
Okay? All is mind. What this means is, do not blame anything outside of the mind for what happens. When somebody says, well, what's the, how do we know that this is whatever? It's because of the mind. The mind is everything. That's the end of the day. At the end of the day, this is it. Okay? Maybe I do keep glitching. Tell me if I'm glitching, y'all. Number 2 is the law of co-respondence. What does this mean? This means as above, so below. As in your mind, so in your world. So if you look at your world and you say, where did this come from? Understand it came from where? Somebody type it in the chat. Where did it come from? Exactly. If your outside world looks a certain way. Exactly. Thank you. Rose, you said it. It comes from mind. That's where it comes from. Okay. That's correspondence. Now also, here's another way to understand correspondence. People ask, how do we know how God operates? Well, God, the way God operates is exactly how the world operates because it's corresponding. That means every layer of reality has a corresponding higher and lower layer. So, when it comes to a tree, how do we know how God works and how we work? Well, if a seed is sitting here in my hand, does it grow? No. But if I take that seed and I plant it in the ground in the proper soil, does it grow and give it water and it gets the right nutrition and sunlight?
I think it's in the car, baby.
Probably. Thank you, baby. Mm-hmm. If I plant it, does it grow? Okay, I am gonna clip that. Thank you for the knowledge on that. Does it grow? Plant it. Does it grow? Yes. All right, so how does our mind work? How does our mind work? Exactly like a tree. This is how you learn everything. Everybody asks me how I learned this stuff. This is how I learned it. I learned these laws and I just started using them. Say, okay, so what the correspondence says is if the tree operates like that, it's a principle. And a principle is everywhere at once. So everything has to work like that. So how does my mind work like that? There we go. We plant thoughts. Plant the vision and grow it by plant the vision. Okay, so first let's just start with the beginning. You plant the idea in fertile ground. You plant an idea in fertile ground. What's fertile ground? In the right person who feels the right way. So if an idea gets planted in our mind of a soulmate, And I feel like I deserve one. I feel I'm ready for one. I feel like I got one. I feel like it's mine and I deserve love. Guess what's going to happen? First, the seed is going to break and roots are going to grow out. The equivalent of roots is you going into bad relationships to see yourself so you can change. Y'all ain't think I was going to say that. Y'all ain't think I was going to say that. Yep. Now the roots grow. That's the beginning of a tree. You're looking for the fruits. But first, you growing roots. You going into another one. It's like, another one? Another one? Oh my God. Like, what's wrong with me? Nothing's wrong with you. Your roots just started growing. Okay? Now, what happens after the roots grow? The trunks start coming out. Boom. Now you got the trunk. So this is, you get over the negative ones. But you might be called in by a quality. You might get a quality that you like. So now the trunk is growing. You're like, okay, he has money. Or she is bad. Oh my God. I'm so attracted to her. So now you got a quality. But then the rest of the qualities ain't all the way there. That means the tree's just not fully developed. Okay, here come the trunk. Next, you start getting better at manifesting and creating people. So now you say, all right, I don't just want a man with money. I want him to have money enough to take care of himself, but I want him to be spiritually inclined too. Then you realize trade-offs. A person who fully focuses all of his attention on money could never be a fully spiritual person because it's your mind. All his mind. His mind is on money. He's a money guy. He's not a sentimental guy. So then you start realizing maybe I need to change maybe I don't want what I think I want. Your trunk getting bigger. You get wiser. Okay? You get wiser now. Your trunk getting bigger. So now the branches start going out. What happened when the branches go out? Now you in the world, you know what you want. You done had your experience. You're like, wow, I learned so much from him cheating on me. I learned so much from having a kid with this wrong person. Wow. I learned so much about myself. I learned so much from whatever you experienced. So, and it sounds crazy, but this is what happens. So now the tree's there. And you go, we're still on correspondence. Because it's a corresponding principle in the tree. There's a corresponding principle in the mind. So see how both of them are the exact same. That's co-respondence. As within, as in me. So is like that in the tree? It's like that in me. That's correspondence. So now the branches come out and the tree come out. Now fruits come on. Boom, fruits. You start getting the people you want. Oh my God. And you enjoying the fruit. You now have what you want. But then the fruit get rotten. You got to take out the seed and plant a whole new relationship with that person and grow it again and again and again until you have a forest. This is the equivalent, the co-responding reality from how a tree works to how you work in your mind. Can y'all see that? That's the law of correspondence. The fruit was your daughter? There we go. I'm like, look, Monique, you feeling that? Okay. That's correspondence. Anybody got any questions about that? Y'all noticing it? Y'all following that? That's the second law. This is a law of the universe. This is how it works. So let's say you change something inside, you're going to change it outside. Fruit with your friends. There we go. See? Y'all know it already. It's just how it works. Now, what's next? The next law is the law of cause and effect. What it says is every single effect has its cause. Every single effect has its cause. Let me test y'all again. What is the cause of everything? Here go a test. What's the cause of everything? If every effect has a cause, what's the cause of it? There we go. The mind. You see why this first? Okay. There we go. Okay. Your mind. So if you want to know what the effect is of the world, go to the mind of that world. See, a lot of people think they can change things by doing something new. if you do something new without a change in mind, what's going to be the effect? It's still going to be the effect of the mind. We need to understand the mental chemistry of what actually produces the effects we want. Now, people who don't know, now cause and effect is separated by time and space. So you'll have a cause that you did 3 months ago. You was mean at somebody. You was mean to somebody. But you're usually nice. So you're nice that you got kindness in your heart. But then your person, you rewatch this, get in the group if you want to rewatch this one. Okay, jump in the mastermind if you want to rewatch this one. So you got a person who makes you feel a certain way. They start cussing you out. It's like, where did this come from? If you don't know that it came from you watching your own self with your own mind be mean to somebody else, which planted a co-responding seed in your mind that grew into a physical person, an effect that was exactly like the cause, you're missing the point. You did it. You were disrespectful to somebody. That's why you're being disrespected. You treated people like you know what, and that's the reason you getting treated that way right now. But guess what? It's magnified because cause and effect over time and space multiplies. It gets bigger. It come back tenfold. Exactly. It gets bigger. So the effect is always bigger than the cause. Cause is always in the mind. And realize you are doing it all. This is key. Now, how many people are like, no. The president did that. Listen, if it's your president did it, the one you made. Yup. We don't like that. You made it. You did it. Now, mind you, you did it for a good thing. You don't know that yet, but you did it. Not by your vote either. No, by your consciousness. Because a physical vote is only an effect of a cause. It don't matter. Look, this is the point. Your mind did it. Now, what is it doing to you? Do you like it? Good. Do you not like it? Good. Change it. Not change the person. Change your what? See? Are we taking responsibility right now? What you changing? Are you changing other people? Or are you changing this? Which one you changing? Other people or your mind? Which one? Which one you doing? Thank you. Everybody's you pushed out. The effect, everybody is you, the cause, pushed out as an effect. Exactly. And specifically, you. If you believe that you make every single president, and you make every single situation, and you make every single church, and you make every single mosque, and you make every single country, if you know you do it, there's only one mind that we all using. So if you know you did it, understand, if you do that, you are listening to the law. So cause and effect, we understand cause and effect. What's next? What's next? Number 4. It's called the law of vibration. It's called the law of vibration. What does this mean? It means everything is in a constant state of vibration and fluctuation. Nothing is static. You are either growing or you're dying. There is no two ways about it. If you think you're stagnant, you're not. You're dying. If you feel like you're making it's resistance, most likely you're making progress. If you're doing something that's resistant and uncomfortable, most likely you're making progress. It's a vibrational thing. Everything is vibrating. So what is your mind doing? What is your mind doing? What is your mind doing? Somebody tell me. It does. We're going to learn that in the next law. There we go. Thinker said it. Your mind is vibrating. Now, what does vibration do? Vibration is an energy vibrating at a frequency. Okay? Now, the frequency that your mind is vibrating at causes a corresponding effect and it's called attraction. This is where they got law of attraction. No, the law of attraction does not go on these laws. You're understanding the mechanism. What's going on? Your mind is vibrating, which causes your brain to vibrate, which is an effect. But then your brain becomes a cause. Your brain is vibrating, and it creates a corresponding external reality, an effect, that matches the mind's vibration. Are y'all seeing this? Everything in your life is because of your mind's vibration. If you think it can be done, that's why you're doing it. If you think it can't be done, that's why it's not being done by you. Okay? This is the law of vibration. Everything is vibrating at the signal of your own mind. Okay? Good. If you got questions, good. That means you're listening to something that's right above the level and you want to know. Good. Because guess what? Your brain is, let me show you what's happening. Your mind is wanting to know. That's a cause. You're asking. What's the effect of asking? Somebody put it in the chat. What is the effect of asking? The cause. What's the effect of asking? There we go. Receiving or learning the answer. So if you are asking and you're like, damn, I got questions, guess what? You are causing an effect because your mind is vibrating a question. That creates a corresponding effect, which is an answer. And by the law of vibration, which we'll see the law of rhythm, it comes back to you. But there's a time delay. Okay? That's what happens. The answer comes to you and you go to the answer, both at the same time. That's a corresponding movement toward each other. So every vibration creates a corresponding movement toward each other. So what you want wants you if you're vibrating it. So it's a corresponding movement. The correspondence is the reality you thought about. Yes, coming to you while you go to it. Exactly. Rose, you on point. You got it. How do you find the right frequency? It feels good. Thank you, babe. It does not have to be a rabbit hole. You don't have to be. If you're down a rabbit hole, you might be pushing it away. Could be. I see. Okay, so that's the next law. Let's add the next one to it. This is the one that's going to break your brain open. Somebody said, why does growing feel like dying? Here go the law. It's called the law of polarity. It's called the law of polarity. What this law says is everything that feels good has a negative in it. And everything that feels negative has a positive in it. So when you growing, it feel like you're dying. So if you feel like you're dying, polarity says you're probably growing. Ooh. And then if you feel like you're growing so much, you're probably dying. Because you a know-it-all. You know everything. It's going to break your brain. This won't break your brain, I'm telling you. This is it. This will save you from so many problems. Life is a paradox. People say, well, I know it absolutely. Okay, most likely, because polarity exists, the law says you don't know it. That's where humility come in. Thank you. Because you said, I know this. Or do you? Right when you say that, law of polarity says you absolutely don't know it. You are at the opposite end of the pole right now. What looks like the highest point is actually the lowest point. What looks like the lowest point is actually the highest point. You say, do I? Hey, I'm telling you, I gotta keep it silent. Because truthfully, I don't know. Being honest, I just don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. I know enough to move forward and get what I want, but I do not know what I don't know. That's just the truth at the end of the day. But polarity states that everything is equal and opposite. So if you're wondering if you're doing the right thing, it's probably going to feel resistant and put strain on you and stress on you. If a negative situation happened to you, if you know the law of polarity, you're like, this is good instantly. This is the game changer. Most people get caught up right here. When something bad happens to them, they don't realize when they say bad, they're actually saying good. How does polarity work in the tree example? Good point. So, you know how we talked about the seed getting planted in the ground? What is the point in which the seed germinates? Does that seed come alive or does it die? What happens to the seed in the ground? We talking about it. Everything that seems to be good also has a bad. Everything that seems to be bad also has a good. What happens? It comes alive. Okay, we got it comes alive. It transforms. What's another word for transform? What's a caterpillar do? It got to die first. Exactly. Look, the seed actually breaks. Boom. I did this science experiment. That's how I know. When I planted a seed like in this clear cup and it had like a paper towel around it, we just put a seed right there and watered it. And we got to see the seed go from being a seed to actually being a plant. First thing that happens is the outside seed, it was a pea seed, it breaks. And that's where the roots come out. So when the roots come out, the seed breaks at the same time. So what's polarity say? What looks like death is actually life. There we go. It dies, and that means it came alive. So once you die to your lower level nature, once you sacrifice everything you want, you say, I don't care. What does that mean in polarity terms? When you sacrifice your desire to receive for yourself alone, for the desire to share only, what ends up happening to you? Somebody tell me. This is a harder question. There we go. Rose just said it. You now attract. As soon as you say, I'm done, I give it up. I just want to give. That's when you receive. Okay. Are y'all seeing that? That's what happens. Everybody trying to attract. They're like, I want it. I want it. That's why you're not getting it. You can't get it if you want it so bad only for yourself. You can't get it. You have to lose it because you want it so badly for yourself. That means you lose it so badly for yourself. Law of polarity. So what you got to do? You got to deeply want it. That's the vibration. But then you got to say, I give it away. I don't need it. I'm about to give it to other people. As soon as you give it to others, now you receive it. As soon as you say, I'm ready to give, I'm tired of receiving only for myself, you start receiving everything. That's how the law works. That's the law of polarity. Notice there's no belief required here. Notice that I'm not talking about some religion. Notice that I'm not talking about just rigid science. Science shows it too. The negative end of the pole of electricity is moving toward the positive end of the pole of electricity. That's science. That's polarity. But notice I'm not overemphasizing it because it's not necessary. This is just the way it is. This polarity. And y'all noticing this. Okay, what's the next law? The next law is the law of rhythm. What it says is everything that goes out comes back around. This explains polarity. This is why when you give, because the law of rhythm, when you give, it has to start a chain reaction to come back around to you receiving. But when you receive, there is a cause and effect, a space-time. That time and space multiplies your seed, and when it comes back, it's a big harvest. This is the law of rhythm. You can also call it the law of seasons. So when you plant in the springtime, the seed breaks open, polarity, it dies, but then it comes alive. It takes a season of rhythm, of seasons, for us to see the full growth of the death turn into life, and now we see a full tree. And we may need multiple cycles to see the full-blown tree. But this is a rhythm. Patterns. There we go. That's a good word for it too. Good word, Monique. Patterns. So that's this law of rhythm. Everything that goes out comes back multiplied. That's the law of rhythm. Everybody see that in their life. I don't think I need to spend so much time on that. But here's one that's going to hurt somebody's feelings. The law of gender. Now, gender is not masculine and feminine bodies, although there's a corresponding reality in the physical gender as it is in the spiritual gender, because law of correspondence. We know that there is a physical manifested masculine feminine. But we are not talking about the masculine feminine physical yet, although there's a corresponding reality physically that shows masculine and feminine by us having masculine and feminine bodies. But what is it in the upper realm? What it is every single creation you see has to have a masculine and a feminine. No matter if you produce a baby in a lab or you produce a baby in a stomach, because they got that capability now. You need a receptive and you need a productive source. That there needs to be a potency that gives, and there needs to be an infinite receiver of that potency that receives the desire to share, which is the sperm, and then the egg, whatever the egg may be, receives it. It takes on the nature of wanting to share it. So then it creates it. This is the law of gender. Every single thing you see has this. Let's talk about that in the perspective of a plant. Does the rhythm change time? Time does not exist. It's actually all rhythms. That's a whole nother conversation, though. Somebody said like a pendulum. I see that. Yes, like a pendulum on a rhythm. Law of gender. How does it work in plant life? You got a potent seed. This is the desire to share. You plant it in the ground, which desires to receive. So once you plant this desire to share seed in the ground, desire to receive, it does receive. And it takes on the life of that seed and turns it into an oak tree. Every single creation has the law of gender in it. Everything, let's talk about it with thoughts, corresponding upwards. Let's go into our thoughts. Because all is what? All is what? Okay? So let's talk about this then. How does that work in the mind? Okay? If you believe you can, and then you decide you will, the belief that you can is feminine, and the decision that you will is masculine. They come together and you start to create what your physical body starts to create. That's the roots. You start to meet people. That's the trunk. You start to create results with people. That's the tree and the branch and the leaves and its fruits. And you start to see manifestations of success. You have to first believe you can, and then you have to decide you will. Boom. When those two come together, the how happens on its own. It's a natural process. That's the law of gender. Anybody got any questions about that? By the way, this is going only in the 30-day. I'm posting this one, this laws, I'm posting this in the 30-day boot camp only. If you're not in the 30-day boot camp, you're not getting this one. This is for y'all. Okay? So y'all can replay this over and over again. There we go. That's a good way to put it. Conscious masculine, subconscious feminine. That's a good way to put it. I am. This is going into boot camp. Can you please explain the difference between energy, vibration, and frequency? They're almost the same thing. They're really almost the same thing. The ultimate energy is consciousness. The consciousness is vibrating. And it's vibrating at a certain frequency. A certain quality. And that's it. That quality becomes the cause. Is the cause. So it's really the same. It's pretty similar. Good. Well, thank you. What does 1 and 2 say? All is mind and correspondence. Dang, am I writing that bad, y'all? Okay, let's talk about the secret law. Y'all ready for the secret law? If the rhythm's tempo changes? It's a good question. Tempo is within rhythms. Tempo is within rhythms, and rhythms can change for sure. my favorite law. It's my favorite law. All right, here go my favorite law. Because this is the number one. They don't even tell us this. First of all, y'all, they don't even tell us this, first of all. But then it's a secret of a secret. Y'all about to get it today. All right? Here go the number one, which is the 8th law. This is the secret law. The secret law. What is it? Here it is. It's called the law of care. It's called the law of care. What does this mean? Most people, all right, I'm going to let y'all guess. Everybody guess usually the same thing. And it's usually wrong. So if you want to get, so think a little deeper. What does this mean? What y'all think the law of care means? You cute, man.
I was just gonna get a kiss.
Gratitude, giving back, all about love. Love is usually the first answer. That's usually the first answer. That's a good one. Abundance, how we tend to something. That's a good one. Here goes a secret. The real name of it is actually the law of gestation. So maybe that'll help y'all understand. Law of gestation. What does that mean? What y'all think that means?
You better pull up ChatGPT. No.
I love my baby. Yes, I do. Growth. Ooh, that's close. That's close. Birth. Ooh, that's... You pretty much own it right there. That's it. You pretty much own it. That's pretty much... That's so close. That's like almost it. Expansion. Law of growth. Law of growth is different. That come after gestation. But that's right next. Law of growth is one of the ultimate laws. Nurturing. How you think. Okay. Let's break it down. The law of care is, this is what the law says. It says, there is nothing that happens until somebody cares enough to take action. That's why it's the law of gestation. If you ever see the crosses in Freemasonry and they got the G in the middle, some people think it's God, or some people think it's the G stand for geometry. It actually stands for gestation, which is the ultimate law to keep secret. It's the law of care. You have to care enough about something to do any action for it. And if you not do an action toward it, you don't care enough. What that means about the universe, and this is so beautiful. This is so beautiful. That means that the source of creation, the divine light, the creator, must be made of enough care to take action on our behalf, which could only be an expression of love. But it's the type of love that cares enough to make action. Think about it. The creator doesn't need us. Anything from us. But the creator cares.